had to wait off. Hey, on this other thing with, as you're calling them, and I hear it all over now, the aggregators, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Things. Keep in mind that with the stuff going on, and the amount of, people that are coming fresh out of journalism school, that any of these places like a Newzjunky or something that's on a larger, smaller scale are going to have freelance out there.
Right.
So if anyone wants a reporter, a journalist, a photographer, video, they're out there. They're going to be even more prevalent if the profession keeps going forward.
Right.
Who's like the best, video in the area?
Steve Weed?
Well known. Yeah, that's who it would be. And he's not working for one thing. He's out freelance and seems to be doing just fine.
No, and there is a lot of diversity out there, and it's a different world, and yeah.
You're never going to be able to stop these places from picking it up, because I tell you what, as soon as it's in Google, it's free. That's the way it is. If you don't like it, don't go to the internet. But you can't stop from going there. As soon as it's on Google, it's free. There's no two ways about it.
Right.
And not even just Google, any search engine, but as soon as it's in there.
Well, it's that constant struggle. If they're going to try to fight it out through copyright issues, they're going to be in the same situation the recording industry was in, just running around scanning newspapers to see who has a band tonight and trying to browbeat those people into signing a licensing agreement, and it's a tough way to earn a living.
Well, and I tell you what, in this economy, you got to think scare tactics like that aren't going to work anymore. People aren't really concerned. People are concerned with where they're making their next mortgage payment. They're not concerned about things like that, so they're not going to get any media backing. They're not going to get any.
So you don't buy the argument that that if there's a mass failure of old news, that this material won't be available, and these aggregators will have.
I think it's going to be more available and better than ever. That's the way it's been over the last 10 years. Don't you agree?
Well, I go back and forth on it. The old viewpoint would be, the old paradigm is that, well, all that material comes from established newspapers. Therefore, if the newspapers don't exist, the material won't exist.
Well, they should have jumped online a lot sooner and made a presence there.
Yeah, a lot of these papers.
Then they lose.
And the aggregators just direct you to things. They're just acting as sort of gatekeepers. But
that would be a plus. That would be pretty much a plus. I would say the Watertown Daily Times, for example, the other day when we had the incident in Binghamton where everybody got shot up. Horrible thing. But wasn't it kind of ridiculous when, the next morning, 24 hours later, you get that, and you look at it, you go, this is not, you're looking at the front page of the paper, and there's nothing there that's news. You could report it better than it was reported at that time because there's been more information through your brain.
Well, right. It's like I said, when I get up in the morning, I turn on the laptop and turn on Morning Joe, and I'm watching that with the laptop on my lap, I guess you'd have to say, or just in bed, and check Newzjunky, I check the Watertown Times, I check whatever else I want to check. And
it's a little Robin and Company, and you go, gee, how can she look that good at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Who's that?
Robin and Company on CNN.
Oh, I don't watch CNN.
Well, I thought you were a little bit liberal like that. You kind of went down those lines.
Well, I watch Morning Joe, and the rest of the day I go back and forth between MSNBC and Fox. I watch both of them.
And for you, huh?
I even watch Olbermann. Incidentally, my condolences to Keith Olbermann on the passing of his mother. She died within the last couple of days, and he mentioned it last night. So,
you keep your parents that late in life. You did pretty well, so I guess no one can really argue the fact. There's a lot of children out there that lose their parents.
Right. So, well, anyway, it's not easy.
But yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on it, and I tell you that Patterson's just going to. If he was running full term, there'd be like words of impeachment. He's just done such an awful job, and he's just riled up things, and he just everything he's done is going to get immediately reversed. You watch as soon as he's out of office. Everything he's tried to do is just going to be thrown away, and anything that he's done is going to be reversed because he's completely clueless. He has no idea of what should be going on. And I think it's going to take more of an average man to go in there. Right from the beginning, I could see it. Anyone I knew could see it. I know you were just kind of like the whole Hillary thing. If you could get your picture with him, then he was going to be your man. And I guess I can understand that. I got a friend who she's in the same boat. She got her picture taken with Hillary, so she's a Hillary support. Yeah. Crazy, but
well, getting back to your topic, yes, this internet is, it certainly means we as consumers have access to a variety of things we didn't have access for. If you're interested in say what Sarah Palin's doing today or something like that, you can have the Anchorage Daily News and look at it every day. You couldn't do that before. Or if you're interested in some other political figure or other figure, you can follow them in their individual state.
Well, Well, and it's not just the newspaper. It's all old media in general. I tell you, if anyone wants to be on the bandwagon, you're going to have everything on the Internet. Absolutely everything, including, like, your radio show. Now, your radio show is on the Internet now, and so is Glenn's. If for some reason your boss decided to take you off and put something else on, you could still keep a pretty fair-sized audience just doing the show on the Internet every day and still having call-in. And the majority of the people are going to have an Internet connection they could listen to, and in the very, very near future, they'll have that in their car as well. Internet radio is going to be the next boom. So it's like you got to jump onto that Internet. Everyone does. Can't.
Well, we're kind of gingerly into it, too. I would think, Glenn signed us up for some kind of free service that allows up to 200 people to log in. And it's great. It is great sound and everything, but to have...
It actually sounds better than the AM radio does in most areas. I mean, there's some areas where, AM comes in fine, but in most areas, your Internet connection's better.
Right.
You do have some other people like Johnny Spazano, who's all over the Internet, too, so he's bringing your stations a little bit into the, the new century, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I think it is a good way to go. It's just the old ways of doing things die hard, and, a lot of operations like this or anywhere else have a lot of equipment that's already paid for but still works, and so you stick with what works. And when you have to get into whole new technologies and everything, a lot of stations don't have like full-time engineering staffs and all that, so it is tough to keep on top of it.
Well, Paul Bunyan had a pretty good axe, but I'm sure you remember that story when the chainsaw came along. That axe wasn't as pertinent as it was.
I guess so.
And as Mr. T would say, I'll close with this: I pity the fool that spends law.
Uh-oh, we lost the Internet here. Starting coding. We better...
As I was saying, I pity the fool that spends lawsuit money to try to provide their service to the public. That just doesn't fare well. It isn't going to work well. And if everybody gets into suing that, they're going to get in a battle on a larger scale with Google. And you're just not going to fight and win Google because, they're too big and they're right.
Right.
Well, hey, hopefully you get your Internet back.
It appears maybe too many people are listening. All right. Could be. Well, we're kicked off again. Goodness gracious, what a terrible thing to be that successful. Anyway, 755-1240 if you're listening on the old AM bandwidth. And we'll be back with more in just a moment here on AM 1240, your News and Talk Authority. Get